right, got the recording going. Go ahead and let us know how Wednesdays go.
Okay, Scott, thank you very much for the introduction, and thanks for emceeing the first Q&A webinar of 2021, right? Very exciting to get the ball rolling back into the swing of things. Brad, are you here? Not sure. Possibly just me. How's my audio, Scott?
Your audio is fine, and we can see the slide deck. Looks good.
Okay.
I don't see Brad on the call yet.
Yeah, Brad might not be here. It might be just myself, you, and Barry. Brad had some other stuff going on. But let's jump into it. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you so much for attending our Q&A webinar. We have just completed the biggest, best year in Trade Ideas 17-year history. We've been around since 2003, funded by the venture capital firm of your subscription dollars. Your patronage and your faith in our company has led us to where we are today, and we're grateful for it. I'm going to show you some amazing things, but before we start, a quick disclaimer. Please be aware that Trade Ideas is in no way, shape, or form a registered investment advisor, and technically speaking, none of the information should be construed as investment advice. These are suggestions, thoughts, et cetera, but if you need specific professional investment advice, please contact a registered investment advisor that is licensed. Okay, let us begin. So before I start, and we have many new eyes here, I just want to tell you a little bit about Trade Ideas, because again, lots of you are new, and this could possibly even be your first Q&A webinar. And again, we do these Wednesdays. You get to speak to the CEO. Brad's the COO, although he's not here. And Scott's been with us forever. He's our head marketing guru. Barry, who's helping us in the Q&A part of the webinar, has been with us for a very long time and runs our amazing trading room, which I'll show you in the slide deck as we get through. But primarily, this is a partnership between us and you to help you become much better at managing your own money. We're a company that's one of the leading companies on the Inc. 5000, and we do it, the hard way, just through creating software. And we have to be profitable because we're not venture funded. So we have to make money doing it. And we are all based in the USA, and all the software you see here is made by US developers right here in the United States. Patriot business, and we love it, and we are, again, grateful for your patronage. One of the biggest things we've done in 2020 is we launched our simulated trading. This is critical for your success. I'm going to touch upon it a lot today in the webinar when I jump into the software, but the idea here is that lots of people have these mixed notions about what you should be doing when you trade stocks. But one of the things that you must do is put in reps. And the only way to put in reps without losing money is to do it in simulation mode. And we have a very powerful, fully immersive simulated trading environment that shows you P&L like you've never seen before. We're going to show that for you in the demo. So this is a critical component. This is not just ideas, although there are plenty of ideas and opportunities that we show you, but we actually do the whole thing. We're a platform. We show you how to view them, manage them, trade them live if you need to, and also, of course, learn properly through simulated trading. So what does it look like to win? Winning is a complicated thing, and it actually works differently for different people. Some people are good at buying breakouts. Some people are good at finding bottoms, and there isn't anything wrong with either approach. The key is simply just to be able to do it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch from the presentation into the Trade Ideas platform, and I'm going to give some brief overviews, and then, believe it or not, we're going to dive into some pretty heavy-duty stuff today right on the get-go. Again, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of your questions, Barry is going to be doing his best to field them during the Q&A, and I'm kind of glancing at them also to make sure that I'm sort of staying on topic, but I really wanted to start today with just some powerful stuff like the Ferrari in the lab, the virtual Ferrari that runs on air that isn't commercially available. All right, let's get ready to rock and roll. I minimize the presentation. Okay, let me know if you guys are able to see my screen. Just want to make sure that it's coming through. Dave, I'll talk about the IPO. Don't worry. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, so you're seeing a screen. This is Trade Ideas Pro. This is our platform. This is our flagship platform. But of course, we also have Trade Ideas Web, which I'm not going to cover in this Q&A. But you're seeing this screen. It has a window on top called Biggest Gainers. So I'm keeping an eye on stocks that are just up a lot. Okay. I'm looking at the overall market here. The spiders, obviously today with all the shenanigans of the Capitol building, you saw we were up big, big, big all day, and then boom, came down big. Okay. So lots of volatility. We actually like volatility. Volatility is opportunity. So let's talk a little bit. This is a screen that is one of my primary go-to screens, and there's a channel bar right here. I'm gonna actually pull it out. Notice that you can move everything out, although it'll dock to your other windows. And there are different channels that you can look at all throughout the day, which you can peruse. Like, for example, if you want to see what's having earnings, you can click on the earnings channel. We have lots of different and by the way, we're adding all descriptions so you see what it is. Pre-market channel, so you can see what's up or down before the market starts. Alpha Predator is a specific setup that's showing you stocks that we think are going to make some big moves, momentum stocks that are already making the moves and continuing, stocks that are being talked about in social media, things that are surging, things that could be moving up because there's a lot of short interest. In other words, people bet against it, but the stock is going up. Lots of different things, and the really cool part about all of this is that you don't have to configure anything. This is already ready to go. Lots of channels, infrastructure, after hours, and the reason I'm not clicking on here is that I have this setup customized to show you something, and I'm going to be doing that soon. So if I clicked on here to show you, it would change everything. It would take me a little bit longer to do it. But I want to just kind of give you a glance perspective. Number one, every stock has what's called a single stock window, has an S right here, and you can do lots of interesting things here. You can, number one, you can customize these fields to show you whatever it is you want. These are things that I want to see. Earnings date, if it has one. If you see it blank, that means it's not coming up. Earnings per share, quarterly earnings growth, volume today as a percentage. So Workhorse was trading basically 150% of its normal volume. How much is it up since January 1? Well, this is a great number for you guys to know. And by the way, ask yourself, why doesn't the finance industry tell you about this? It's like we're one of the only people that show you how much something's up since January 1. So that's in 6 days, right? January 1 just happened, it's already up 20%. You know, if you were a mutual fund and you had this, you'd be like, okay, my work's over after 6 days, shake everybody's hand and go on a rest of the year vacation. Congratulations. Okay, we have, you can look at the profile, what a company does. Notice also right here, you can tell if it's based in the United States. These are very critical things, and you'll see, you know, why. And of course, on the profile, you can go directly to the company. We just added this recently. You can read what's going on and just click, and you're there. Okay. You can see what the insiders are doing. You know, we got all of this information right here, and you can see stocks that are similar. So the competitors, or something that's similar in price action, but competitors are great because when you find stocks that are really running, you can quickly go to the similar tab. Notice that I duplicated this window once because I'm showing you how you can create your workspace the way you want to see it. Although you can click on the news tab and see it, lots of people like just the basics of being able to go and have this stream so that as I'm clicking, I can instantly see the news stories as they come up. Okay, so here I'm going just through different stocks that I watch, and as I'm doing it, you can see all the news stories change. The reason I'm showing you this is because I want you to know that you can be comfortable here and not be worried like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all this advanced stuff, but what about the news? Okay, well, everybody loves the news. We love the news too. You have the news right here, and if you click on it, okay, and it just opens up whichever story. I'm sorry it's taking so long. My internet's been a little bit shoddy here. But you can see it's just going to the website, and there you have it. Okay, I want to make sure, is my audio still good? Everyone seeing everything? We following along? Fantastic. Okay, so you understand the single stock window lets you dive into the details. This window right here is our Brokerage Plus window, okay? And Brokerage Plus is, the reason we call it Brokerage Plus because it's your brokerage, but plus all the good stuff that you need, right? The ability to see your P&L. Like, look at this, by the way, this is in simulated trading, so I'm practicing a lot, okay? Because that's the only way you get better. There should be no fear of doing lots of transactions in simulated mode because you want to figure out what is and isn't working. And of course, today, lots of everything was working all up until the Washington shenanigans, okay? We have very nice fields where you can track things that you haven't seen before. Like, for example, what's your P&L done over the last 15 minutes? So you can click on something and you can see like, oh, it just popped up there in the end from this little cup and handle. These are fields that are all database driven. We create everything customized so that we really are the only ones that have this information and nobody else. That's why we're most likely the most successful fintech firm that's privately held in the United States. And of course, we don't disclose all the details on our finances, but just telling you, we've made the Inc. 5000 4 years in a row. Very few companies have ever done that, and it's going to be 5 years in a row when we file this year. Okay. So the idea is you can go from just visualizing something, and I'm going to show you again why Trade Ideas is so different and what's so important about it. So here I have this top list, and that's with a T. So you can see this is a list. It's a organized list, and you can do it by like what's up the most, like change or what's up the most over the last 30 minutes. In other words, like what's in its highest position and range. What's trading the most volume, and you can figure out, well, why is it doing that? Okay, so notice how this allows me to very quickly see what's going on, analyze the visuals, and then of course, if I want to, I can very quickly jump into well, what else is doing it? What else is like this? Okay, like I can look at AIKI and say, that's interesting. Why did it do its thing from a visual perspective versus this one? So the idea is that you're always going to be a little bit ahead of everybody else in terms of being able to act on information that you see. And because we've got the simulated trading here, well, you're able to then, of course, very quickly conceptualize things that you may otherwise never be able to do. Let me show you what I mean by that. So here, notice that in the chart, we have these B and S's. So you can initiate a buy order or a sell order right from the chart. Come over here, you. Okay. click on you. And sometimes it doesn't work because I'm doing the first Q&A and I might not be logged into that part of it. So sorry about that, guys. But you can actually drag and drop this into this chart, and it will put in a little line and show you, hey, this is your buy order and this is your sell order. Let me see if I can. So you can also edit your strategy. Okay, so this is something that, again, is kind of new, but you can make it so that you can assign different things to that buy button. Like here, I'm assigning buy 100 shares at market, or I can make it a limit order. You can get very, very specific in terms of what it is that you want to do. You can create very customized strategy, and I should have prepared a little bit more for this part of it, because again, had I done so, it would have worked. But the idea is that once I enable it, in theory, you should be able to drop it in. But again, I didn't do it during market hours, so that's one of the reasons why it's doing this. So here, let me show you something else real quick. One of the really cool things you can do with trade ideas is you can get very, very advanced. Okay, so notice how I'm going to go to connected. So this is the primary brokerage plus window, and I have two of them open. This is why I said, Peter, don't worry, again, all of these things, I'll give you the links to all of that, okay? So notice this channel right here, it's called Whopper, it's called War Operations Plan Response. So we made this channel, ladies and gentlemen, because we wanted to do something that you guys have not seen before. So what I'm doing here, and like I said, we're kind of going to jump into some advanced stuff, but I want you to understand what you're seeing. Here, I have simulated trading, and I'm actually automating a strategy here, okay? And that strategy is called the blank check strategy, okay? This strategy is something that you can configure, and because it's in simulated trading mode, I'm not really worried too much about the entries, okay? What it's doing is it's looking at the specialty acquisition companies that are basically the new IPOs right now, and it's getting into them at certain points in time during the day. And then what I'm doing is I'm watching P&L. Okay, it's a totally different way of getting ideas. So as it gets into this and some of these things I've held, I'm watching the P&L today and I'm watching the P&L total. This is all in simulated trading mode. But what it's doing is it's keying me in. As I look at this, I'm like, wow. So this thing ran all the way up to 23 and is pulled back to 18. And now I can kind of get an idea and say, this might be a good entry point for me. I'm actually in this one in real life, in a different account. So I'm able to watch with P&L, and I'm able to do it in both directions. Here's one, LAOC, again, ran up to 20, pulled back, and is really starting to turn around. So now I know that this potential, like because it never hit this stop and it never went back into this kind of mode, I can see things that other people can't because I'm watching it via P&L. Like I'm already in this in simulated mode, and I'm watching, I'm making sure, like, well, where's my biggest gainer today? Okay, so this was my biggest gainer today. Where's my biggest gainer in total? Okay, it's IPOC. It's this one that I bought right here in simulated mode, and it went from 12 to 17 and is now pulled back. And this probably looks like an area of support if I'm just visually gauging it. So what I'm doing is I'm trading off of simulated, I'm using simulated P&L to key positions in real P&L. Notice this is real. This is an interactive brokerage account. This is a real account, okay? And this is the simulated trading account. Simulated, real. Both accounts open at the same time, and using P&L as a way to judge whether I do or don't want to get into positions. And by the way, negatives aren't always negatives, because sometimes negatives show you good entry points. No other technology company in the fintech world has this type of a feedback system for you, where you are not only being able to find opportunities, and we have that, you know, better than anybody in the business. But beyond the opportunities, unless you're doing something with them, you're not really learning. And what we do here is we let you learn by being able to automate something. Like here, I have this automated. And what I mean by automated is it's nothing fancy. It's not some sort of black box. It's simply, I'm getting into all of these trades throughout the day. Some of them are exiting because of profit and loss rules that I've already set up. So I have like a rules-based system in play, and this rules-based system is looking at a group of stocks I'm interested in, which is the specialty acquisition companies. Everybody should be paying attention to them. They're basically the new IPO play. And for all investors, you should be aware of where the action is. And the SPAC world, and by the way, let me just come over here real quick. There's a channel for that. We have it for you. This channel focuses just on SPACs, okay? So Roxana, the reason your Whopper doesn't look like this is because you have to set it up in the beginning to log into both of these, okay? There's a couple of steps that you have to do, and this is something that will be covered in videos, and also anybody at Trade Ideas Support can show you how to do it. But it should look similar with the two of them there. So it won't look identical because I'm doing, this is not exactly the way I trade it. It's just that I'm doing this for you guys. I've kind of done it so that you can see the information a little bit differently. The Whopper that's on the channel bar is kind of the way we're looking for you to use it. Yeah, Roxana, shoot an email to info@trade-ideas.com and say, how does the Whopper work? And somebody will totally help you. And by the way, the Whopper is amazing. I mean, I really have to tell you, it is amazing. So Peter, you can enter the positions manually, or you can have it be automated in simulated trading. And that's one of the coolest things that you guys will ever experience in terms of when you kind of really get into Trade Ideas, right? We've done the automation part seamlessly with our simulated trading, so that it's very easy to automate simple things. Like, for example, you can just say, buy every cross of a 200-day moving average with high earnings per share. I'm just being hypothetical here. And it will do it for you. And then you can just P&L watch. P&L watching is so much emotionally more impactful than simply just pulling up a stock like this and saying, oh, what is that? Well, it doesn't really matter because you're not emotionally tied to it. But when you have a P&L attached to it, and this is what happens in simulated trading, not only do you learn by seeing and doing all the proper risk metrics that is incorporated, but also you're just getting a different feel for ideas that cannot be replicated by anybody else. So a question just came up in terms of what, how soon are we with TDA? I would say TDA is 2 weeks away. 2, 3 max. I mean, we are so close. We're already running trades through it in testing mode. We're just doing basically the final legs of testing with it. And it's not the only one. Both TD Ameritrade and E-Trade are kind of coming along quick. So we're going to have 2 zero commission large brokers coming along very quickly. So Frank, you don't want to do that. I know that it seems like you do, but you don't, because in essence, here's the deal. Number one, you can go to, you can set up a list of stocks that you like that are like what you call low caps, whatever, you know, whatever you like that's low cap for you. Again, people have different things here. And as soon as you click on it, the news stories will appear. And you can have what's called surfing mode. Well, let me just turn it on and it'll do a little bit of it. So watch what happens here, okay? we're counting like to 3 or 6. Do you see how it's switching stocks for you automatically? I'm not doing anything. My mouse is over here. So when I'm in surfing mode, and surfing mode is just another very powerful feature of Trade Ideas, you can kind of be hands off, and what the software will do is it will go through, oops, I was in a Brokerage Plus and it pauses there. It will go through the different symbols by itself. You don't have to do anything, and you'll see it says currently idea surfing. So that means is it is just going through through the names for you, and you can do this on a channel. You can create your own symbol list, and so you're streaming through the headlines here already. So that's what I'm really trying to show. Okay. One of the things that is really helpful when you're working with Trade Ideas is to give up old notions of how the stock market works. Because again, there's no way that any investor can read a story, process that story, and then use that as the trigger. By the time that's happened, hundreds of other people have already known the news and have already gotten in. Momentum and volume always precede news. And a lot of times news don't that make the stock go. So what you want to do is you want to just be either surfing just to see the charts and kind of glance at the news stories, make sure it's aligning with what you're seeing. But in reality, since you can set things up, like for example, in the Frank, for the low float stocks, you can have a window of low float stocks that are already all up. So you don't need to worry per se about, you know, the catalyst. That's going to be some news story and it'll be present right here. Okay. So you can do all of that. And ladies and gentlemen, in terms of filtering the data, you can filter information on Trade Ideas any way you want. We watch every single stock. We watch it in real time and on every time frame, okay? We do the stuff that nobody wants to do. Our server room is just insane. That's where the strength is. This is a very thin client in terms of anybody who knows anything about software. Very thin client, and all of the stuff is being processed on the server. Of course, you've got your charts, you've got your single stocks, you have your channel, and one of the things that I haven't even talked about is, of course, we have a fully automated system called Holly, which is our part of our premium product that is an AI. And this AI trades for you. It gives you everything: entry signals, exit signals, anything and everything that you can imagine. And let me kind of give you a little perspective on it, okay? And this is about every stock, but sort of like high level of how the AI works from a very 50,000 foot level. Any chart that you're looking at, and here I'm looking at SunPower Corporation, whenever you pull it up, the stock software, Trade Ideas, assumes that you just got in it, okay? And it's going to give you points for, this is your intraday stop hypothetical, your intraday profit target hypothetical, and your longer term swing exit. By the way, let me show you real quick. Notice what it did today with the S&Ps, okay? So the S&P started when it was going up, and then it hit a profit target, pulled back, hit it again, went a little bit higher, and then broke through it. But you can see how critical this point was. And again, because this is all algorithmically derived, so every single thing you look at has a game plan for you. Nathan, we have price alerts. So you can, and we're in the process of sending them through your email and SMS. So I'm sure something like Telegram, although I don't use it, could easily be, or an IM app can easily be accessed. Let me show you what it looks like. You right click and you say create a price alert. and I'm going to put in the price of 15, and I will say F-cell, oops, F-cell is running. I know that I'm going long, and now I have it saved, and you see a little pin. So now this is my alert. When this crosses this, I will be notified, and of course, this notification can go to anywhere, and we're finishing the feature set of that. So Charles, the Whopper channel is not about defense literally. It's in terms of war operations. Like we were kind of saying, the stock market is a battlefield, and the Whopper is a metaphor for that battlefield, meaning you're doing a lot of game theory. You're seeing what's working and what's not working in P&L terms. Okay, a very powerful way to do it that you can't do anywhere else. In other words, you're going to be able to see, well, and by the way, 1,700 shares, this is all customizable. You can say, buy me 300, 100, 200, whatever makes you feel comfortable in simulated mode. Okay, so the reason it's called Whopper is because we're fans of war games. Very good movie, and we're also old. Frank, dark pools, not really into dark pools. And again, remember, we've been into this for 17 years. It doesn't really help. Okay. No, ladies and gentlemen, avoid the gimmicks. Okay. If something that you're doing is gimmicky, meaning like you need a feed that nobody else has, well, somebody else will have it. Okay. Dark pools, typically their feeds are hard to get because they're dark. And that's not where the action is, because while you're sitting there focusing on dark pools, the SPACs are running, or something else that's already, that we're watching already is going. There's no opportunity. Let me show you guys something. There's no shortage of amazing opportunities in the stock market. Look at U.S. Steel since January, or even October. You're talking about from $7 to 21, 300%. 1, 2, 3 months, 100% a month. This is U.S. Steel, not Facebook or something dark pooly. That's the beauty of what Trade Ideas brings to the table, is that the market does not have to be complicated for you. Okay, we tend to make it much more complicated than it has to be. The idea here is trial and error, but the trial and error with Trade Ideas is done in simulated mode, so you really can get a feel. There's no other place that allows you to feel what's going on in the stock market other than Trade Ideas the way we do it. And again, I jumped into the Whopper section because most people even have a hard time imagining being in more than one position at a time. And here I'm showing you here, there's 2 P&L blotters. So one is simulated mode, and you're keying off of it and you're going into your real one. It's not actually that hard. I mean, there's nothing really hard about it. You just haven't seen it. This is sort of like getting an iPhone in 1987. You're like, what is this thing? Is this a cup holder? Is it a placemat? Why it's so thin? Frank, we have the unusual options, and there's a channel for that. That's right here. So, Daniel, that's a funny question. I mean, literally, our whole technology is about unusual activity, okay? The whole thing. So now that I've so you understand what I'm saying is the high-end stuff right off the get-go on the new year, using something like the Whopper, where you're doing something in simulated mode at the top, but you can, again, you don't have to do it. It can be automated for you. You can try lots of different stuff. And if you have questions, simply shoot an email to support and they'll show you how to do it. And then transferring that to your real positions, okay? Again, I want to show you IPOC here. IPOC here. That's how that happened. This success through this. And of course, I'm going smaller in real money because I don't want to be as risky. But The point simply is every one of these things is a idea generation channel. So let me kind of, now that I've done the hard part, let me show you a little bit about what we got under the hood. Okay, so here's it. I'm going to click on a channel and everything will change. So you'll see what that looks like. Okay, it can be very small. I'm going to move my brokerage plus so that it's not bothering anybody. So notice how much smaller this channel is. Again, it's easy to get started with things, less overwhelming, but I was just showing you some advanced stuff, so nothing wrong. So these are stocks that are involved in cryptocurrency, like Marathon Patent Group, one of my favorites. Okay, got this buy idea from good old Trade Ideas way back here. And that's the beauty, is that we watch it, we watch old stuff, and it never goes away. Okay. So as we move forward, EV related. Okay, how can you not love stuff that's EV related? Notice it's surfing by itself. Just doing its idea surfing, and the idea surfing when you're going through channels really makes a lot of sense, because what you're seeing is these stocks, and there's so many of them, okay? But you don't know, like, how would you have known to click on CBAT? You might have never known to do it. But we show you them without you clicking, and that's the whole point of the idea surfing. Paulo, great question. The way the AI works, guys, it's not sensitive to the dollar. You know, you're getting information very quickly, and never ever should you assume that 5 or even 10 cents is what we're going for, right? We're going for big moves. So you should just kind of visually confirm if you want to, and then make a quick decision, and then that's it. That's it. And again, that's not always the case. Sometimes it'll pull back right into your price. So this is, let me switch to the Omni AI channel real quick. Let me move one of these here real quick. So this is the biggest gainers, and I'll send it to everybody here real quick. So let me actually do this so you can see. One of the cool things that we have at Trade Ideas, guys, is that, so I have a list right here. I can right click on that list and I can say save and share to the cloud. If I click save and share, it creates this cloud link. I copy it, close that up. I'm going to put this into our chat. And then everybody who is a customer can simply copy that hyperlink, like right click on it, copy it, and go to my cloud, and you'll be able to load it up. Okay, so I'm closing this up. So this is the AI. And again, if you guys think that an AI should always be profitable, well, I can tell you that that's never the case perfectly. Our AI kicks butt, but in a day like today, when you had what you had, I mean, there's just no way that you can predictably reap the benefits of the kind of chaos that was in the market. And by the way, see, notice not a US company, United Kingdom. Now you know that right away. It goes both long and short, and not all the time it works. But the beauty is, notice the stop. Okay, that's why we have them. We have these stops so that it's automatically doing proper risk management for you on your behalf. Okay. Here's one that you got into today, and it went from 5 to, like, I guess 561, hit its profit target beautifully. You actually had more time and then pulled off way back. I mean, this is, again, just one of the beautiful things. Samuel, there's some information on that on the website. Shoot an email to trade-ideas.com. I mean, info@trade-ideas.com, and we'll do that. But by the way, guys, win rate is not the key thing, okay? And I know lots of you probably already know that, but it's risk management. You can be 50% right, but if you risk manage it right, your winners can be 3 times your losers. So everything is risk management, not necessarily the win rate, although we win more than we lose 100%. And today is just one of those strange, volatile examples. And the other beauty is that, remember what I said before, you're going to learn from the AI what shorting is, okay? When it works, when it doesn't work. And again, it doesn't always work, but that's why we have stops in, and look at how beautifully the stops function in this particular case. We looked for the short sell right here because for the AI, statistically, it looked overvalued. We have to buy it back for a loser, but look at the run afterwards, right? That's exactly what you want to see, okay? You want to see that it's doing the proper risk management for you. Okay. By the way, you can customize this channel bar and you can make your own. Oh yeah, it's amazing. You can make your own channels. So this one, you can see I have two different ones that I've added myself. Paulo, yes, we connect with TradingView. So here's the specialty acquisition companies. Love this channel. I really recommend you guys check it out. It's amazing. Okay. This is where the action is, and everybody was talking about the low floats or the the small cap guys. This, all eyes on this. Okay, all eyes on this. Very exciting to be having a channel that's focused just on this for you. I mean, this is enough to keep you going right now the whole time, all day long. Okay. So let's go to Alpha Predator. And there's some overlap between different things. Look at this stuff. Imagine if this goes to where it was before. See, when I see stuff like this, I right away do this. And I say, because by the way, I trade for real, as you guys know. See, you want to give yourself a little heads up. So it's on the channel bar. Right here. It's called SPAC's blank check. That's what that's called. Okay. So every channel that you have on, you can see an ON on it. So you can tell that I'm on the Alpha Predator. Okay, Alpha, if you guys may not know what Alpha means, I'll just give you the quick 1-2 of it. Alpha is the difference between you and the stock market. The problem is that, again, we've all been told a bunch of bullshit about investing. Most of the mutual funds you're in and your 401k, the best you're going to see is if they match the market. Well, today, the Dow Jones, if we call that the market, or the S&P, Dow Jones was up 1.4%, and the S&P was up 0.5%. So to get alpha, you with me? You're going to have to be at least 1.44. In other words, you have to be 1.445 to have any alpha. Alpha is what you would do over the exchanges, because you don't need any brains to just buy the Dow or the S&P. Alpha is what happens after that, okay? So look at this, see, 6.81%, subtract 1.44, you get 5.3 something of alpha. That's what alpha means. So Alpha Predator is looking for these things that are moving more than the market. That's what alpha is, okay? There's a website called Seeking Alpha. Same kind of concept, because you're seeking that gain, the bigger gain, okay? Let me scroll down, continue. Account Builder, aimed at finding stocks that will hopefully go, and go. And again, a lot of this is proprietary expertise in building these channels, and also in these channels, we try to give you concepts of things to see that you might have not seen before, okay? And again, look at this. I mean, do you see what we're talking about here, right? This is what happens in the stock market. That's why you're at this webinar. There's no other place, not real estate, not anywhere else where you're going to have this kind of action, okay? So forget about all the BS. You need to spend time learning this and invest your time into it. Give it enough time to where you're not just jonesing for instant gratification, because that's not how any professional thing works. But we're going to give you as close as you can get to catching these and riding them, okay? Once again, pre-market, you start the day here. This is what's up, this is what's down. Up gappers, down gappers, and all the pre-market movers. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom here, and after hours. So this is what's happening right now in the post-market, okay? Post-market movers, most up and down in post-market, so that you can see. Because now this is another cool thing. So you can see this here, the 9 is up obviously quite a lot here. So you can see, well, what's similar? Okay, hasn't gone yet. Maybe it will. Has not gone yet. Maybe it will. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Social media, we work with StockTwits, and we're tracking all the StockTwits volume, so you can see what's being talked a lot. So this is being discussed a lot on social media. So it's not social media companies, it's discussed on social media. We're tracking the social media volume as it relates to stocks. Okay. So this is your Brokerage Plus, and this is the initial introduction without the Whopper. Let me just expand it. So when you want to start working with Brokerage Plus, it kind of looks like this. You've got a window here called Trade Candidates. You've got highs and lows, and Trade Candidates is designed by us as, again, concepts for you to hopefully enjoy, because we've seen this stuff work, and again, for lots of different reasons. I mean, look at these moves. This is what you want to see. So this is your first introduction to Brokerage Plus, one window, and then the Whopper was what I showed you today. Thank you, Barry, for the channel answering. So Squeeze Me, gentleman was asking about low float stocks. Squeeze is things with a high short interest, okay? And here you can sort of see 26% short float and short growth, like how much it's been growing. So all of these will sort of be in that same general vicinity, a big short. And when there's a big short, by the way, that's what happened in X, the same thing, short float, and it was at almost 30%. They've been getting rid of it. So you will not have a Whopper on your premium, on your website version, because we do not have that yet. So KJ, it's a completely personal thing. You can keep putting, to me, right? It's kind of like a feel thing. I'll see something, and if I like it, I'll do it. Like, for example, this, right? I really like the concept, by the way, great call from the AI on this at 25, I would still be in it. But if I was going to be getting in, I'm going to get in like going, like somewhere around here, you know, maybe you can visually say, well, that candle's an outlier. So like right around the 30s, but you want to be above this whole area, because then you're talking about a new supply and demand situation. And I really do believe that that's a personal thing. I do quite a few of them, but that's just my personal preference, because that's how I invest. Like, you will see that I do not spend virtually any time on technical analysis. I don't specifically like adding indicators. I just visually, my eyes are my indicators. They communicate to me. I can visually see, like, okay, well, this was going down, bottomed right here, great call by the AI, and then it's kind of went up and is building a base. Love base building strategies, and, you know, And that's why I put that in there. Let's see, NCTY. Right, NCTY. I mean, I mean, you know, you'd want to be in. You would have wanted to be into it somewhere here. I mean, even I guess here. But at this point, you're in very volatile territory. Unless you were already in it, you know, I don't know. That is a little bit above my risk criteria for me personally. But I'm not giving you investment advice. I'm just saying, you know, that in terms of setting the alerts, I didn't catch this one. So the cloud, okay, we are a cloud-based AI system. You can save all of your settings to you can save all of your windows to the cloud, layouts, everything, so that no matter where you are, you can just download Trade Ideas, log in, and your favorite layout is there. It's kind of amazing, you know, sort of like Google Docs or anything else. Here's your cannabis stocks for those that love that. Yeah, so Peter, you can do that easily. Just set yourself up for one of our training webinars, and people will show you how to do that. Again, on the Q&As, I do more demonstration. I don't really jump into specific setups of any one window, because then it's just too difficult for people to follow. What I do is I do high-level concepts and just showing you how to really derive more value than you might have suspected, because again, you might have not known that, again, we do all of this. Like, I love channel surfing, by the way. This is just so fun. It's fun to see all these different stocks. How about the sectors? You want to get your eyes going here? Technology, financial, consumer staples, everything's broken down for you. The best part is you didn't have to do anything, okay? And it goes on. Obviously, you have the explosive winners, okay? And you can see it's on. They're all going to be positive. But as you scroll down, there's all parts of it. You've got the winners, you've got the losers, China, there's different sectors going down. There's a whole channel for negative stuff, even though a lot of people are afraid of it. I really highly recommend, especially in simulated trading, that you start really practicing short selling a lot. It's a great way to learn the whole stock market, okay? All right, guys, how are we on the questions? I feel like we're pretty good, so I'm gonna wrap it up in terms of the presentation, just to make sure that we're not spending too much of your time from our first P&L webinar, Q&A webinar rather. So Barry, who's been answering the Q&A questions for me, and thank you, Barry, is a leader of our trading room. It's a great way to get started. trade-ideas.com/trading room, a highly respected and meritocracy group of investors that trade in all different styles, and Barry's leading the way every day, Monday through Friday. He's there constantly answering questions and helping everybody to get started, as well as just getting the most out of your trade ideas. Fantastic stuff that Barry does. Dave, I'll get into the IPO. We have all sorts of information to help you learn. Ebooks. Our last ebooks is earnings season. Please check that out at trade-ideas.com in terms of earnings. And of course, our education. So a lot of you seen that there's tons of different stuff that Trade Ideas can do. We have a full, kind of like a college-based curriculum every week, weekdays, all throughout the week. There's different educational sessions that you can do where you can get high-level answers to all sorts of detailed questions. And of course, our forums where we have vaults of information and things like that. Yeah, you should be able to, Mitsubishi, you should be able to join from any country, no problem. I mean, obviously you'd be trading US stocks, I'm assuming, and probably a little bit harder on you in terms of the time from South Africa, but you know, we have customers all around the world, all around. This is how much our software costs. We break it up for you on a daily basis, just so you can see what it is on a per day. It's really no more than lunch. And if you have trouble with this concept, like, you know, if you think that the premium service at $7.50 a day is too much, well, I can only say that investing might not be the right thing for you. This is the type of thing that you should be able to invest $7.50 a day into yourself and do it for a year or two, because it can take you that long to really figure it out. I mean, if people are promising you the instant guru millionaire, then forget about it. You're just being fooled. And of course, we have a promo code today, Holly New Year, 15% off of your first month or a year off of Trade Ideas. And we charge you monthly or year. So there's monthly or annually, but this is on a per day breakup, how much it costs. And of course, we also do a podcast that we would love for you to subscribe to, and all you have to do is search for us on the Trade Ideas, on your typical podcast search engine. So this is a way you can get in touch with us. We're very active on social media, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to Jeffrey Premium gives you access to more advanced features, more charts, the AI, and all that other kind of stuff. Okay. So we had been planning on doing an IPO in 2020. I mean, we've been in business for a long time, and I really thought that it was maybe possibly time for the IPO. Everything was sort of moving in that direction, but then the pandemic hit. And because of all of that, everything had to be put on hold. And it's obviously, you guys know, it's still there. Like, this is not a great time to, you know, do that kind of stuff. Edward, please shoot an email to info@trade-ideas.com right here, and they will help you upgrade. Okay, no problem. So one of the things that we've done is we just put a hold on the IPO because we don't want to hurt our investors and ourselves, and we're a profitable company. And now that we're seeing the SPACs, the blank check companies come in, that might be the way that we do it. But again, until this pandemic stuff is really behind us, we do not see a reason to jump into the IPO foray just yet. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Gabriel, in terms of PCs, I would definitely use a PC, and you know, any kind of gaming PC is probably the best to work with. I have a Alienware dual monitor set up in my office. That's what I use, but there's other ones. I mean, you don't have to go that premium. Okay. All right, everyone. I want to thank you again so much with your presence here and listening to me. Really, really appreciate it. And hopefully we will continue to see you. And I'm telling you guys, you're looking at the most advanced tech for the individual investor. It's up to you to make the choice, but we know there's nothing better, and we are very proud of ourselves, and we will continue to help you in the future. Scott, I think that's it.
Yep, everything's good. So we'll have that recording up later on tonight or tomorrow. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everyone. Stay tuned for that email.
Thank you.